Hey, this is Daniel. It's been 4 years. 4 years of waking up next to Maria, the scent of her shampoo filling the room as I roll over to check the time. We're not kids anymore, but we're not quite ready for the next chapter either. We're living in a place I can afford, a corner apartment with big windows, a view of the skyline that makes me feel like I've made it, at least in one sense. The apartment's perfect for two, maybe even for three if it ever came to that. But it's just the two of us for now, and that's all right. Maria's different from me in a lot of ways. She's smart, driven, but she doesn't have the same business instincts I've built up over the years. She works in retail management, puts in long hours, but never really takes ownership of anything beyond what's in front of her. Maybe that's the difference between me, the tech consultant who owns a business, and her, someone who works hard but hasn't quite cracked that next level yet. I've got two cars. A Mercedes SUV for the practical stuff, and a BMW convertible for when I want to remind myself of what I've worked for. Not that I've ever needed to remind myself, but there's something about that sleek engine, the wind rushing through my hair. Maria drives a Toyota, but after a few months of living together, it's clear her car's had its run. She doesn't complain about it, not really. But I know it's been a struggle for her. One evening, I come home to find her waiting by the door, shifting on her feet. "The Toyota's not gonna make it," she says. Her voice is a little strained, like it's been building up. "I don't know how much longer it'll hold together." I sigh. I can't blame her. I could offer to help. And I do, in the way I know how. I tell her to take one of mine. The Mercedes, I think, but she chooses the BMW instead. "Are you sure?" I ask, pulling at the collar of my shirt. It feels too tight, too constraining for the conversation I know is coming. "Yeah," she says, with that confident look she sometimes gives me. "It'll be fine." At the time, I don't see it coming. I'm caught up in the quiet comfort of knowing she's with me, that we're in this life together. I'm not thinking about the small cracks in the foundation, the way her independence clashes with mine. I've got the cars, the business, the apartment, things that mean security. Things I can offer her. But I don't know yet what that kind of offer will mean for us, or how fragile it really is. When the accident happens, the first one, I don't want to admit it. I'm on the phone with a client when she calls. "Hey, I need you to come down to the parking lot," she says. My stomach sinks. "What happened?" I don't know how it happened. But the Mercedes." She stammers, and I hear the rustling of paper. "It's pretty bad, Daniel." I can hear the hesitation in her voice. She's not one to lie, but I know there's more. We meet downstairs. The car's been scraped up, the body dented in a way that will cost at least $5,000 to fix. She's standing there, her arms folded, her face flushed, but she doesn't look embarrassed. Just resigned. "Maria," I say, trying to keep my voice even, "what happened?" I don't know," she says, looking away. I parked and I don't know. I didn't mean to. I nod, keeping it calm. Maybe it's a simple mistake. But I'm not prepared for the second accident, not when it happens less than a month later. The BMW. Total loss. Maria's texting someone while driving, and it's so damn clear that she's distracted when I get the call. The car's crumpled, and I'm not surprised when the insurance company tells me it's done. Maria's fine. But she doesn't seem shaken, doesn't seem to understand the magnitude. The weight of it all. I can't decide if I'm mad, or if I'm just numb. It doesn't take long for everything to start falling apart. Less than a month after Maria took my BMW, she's already wrecked it. The phone rings, and I know before I pick it up that something's wrong. Maria's voice comes through the speaker, tight and a little shaky. "Daniel," she says, her words rushed, I crashed the BMW. It's bad." I feel the tension in my chest. My stomach drops. I try not to react, try to keep my cool. "Where are you? Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she says, but her voice cracks. "The car's totaled." I can barely comprehend it. What happened? I wasn't paying attention. I was texting. I didn't see the car in front of me. I hit it hard. Texting. I should have known. I should have stopped her from driving it in the first place, but I didn't. I can't keep letting her make these mistakes. Maria, you were texting while driving? My voice is low, controlled, but the anger's there, just under the surface. I didn't mean to. I swear, she says, but it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I grab my keys, already planning the drive to the scene. I want to yell, to scream, but instead, I end up saying, meet me there. By the time I get to her, the car's a mess. The front's smashed in, the airbags deployed. The BMW, gone. I see Maria standing a few feet away, arms crossed, her face flushed. Are you hurt? I ask, trying to keep my anger in check. No, I'm fine, she says, but I can tell she's not sorry, not in the way I want her to be. She doesn't get it. The car's a write-off, Daniel. I didn't mean for it to happen. I rub the back of my neck, taking a long breath. We're going to have insurance issues, I say, barely containing the frustration. This is not just a little mistake, Maria. You can't keep doing this. She shrugs, like it's not a big deal. You've got the money. It's not like it'll hurt you. The words hit harder than I expect. She doesn't get it. I've worked for everything I have, and now it's slipping through my fingers, piece by piece. I try to focus. We need to get this sorted. I'll call the insurance company. She nods but doesn't offer any help. It's on me again. I head back to the apartment, my mind reeling. The weight of the situation presses down on me. The next few days pass in a blur of phone calls and paperwork. The insurance is a nightmare. They won't cover everything, not by a long shot. The damage to the BMW is too extensive. The thought of paying for this on top of the repairs to the Mercedes, well, it's overwhelming. Maria's hardly around, and when she does show up, it's like nothing's changed. I don't get an apology, not really. It's just, there. Her presence, but not her responsibility. When I confront her about it, I try to keep it calm. Maria, this isn't just about the cars. It's about what you're doing. You can't keep wrecking things and pretending it doesn't matter. She looks at me like I'm crazy. I didn't ask you to buy me a new car, she snaps. You don't get to lecture me about responsibility. I didn't ask for any of this. I'm done. Fine, I say, the word sharp. But it's happening. And you need to start taking this seriously. Her silence fills the room, and I can feel the gap widening. I'm standing there, trying to hold it together, but she's not even trying to meet me halfway. I don't know where we go from here. But I know things won't be the same. A week after the BMW was totaled, I'm still reeling. The insurance company won't cover half of what I need, and I've already spent hours trying to sort through the mess. I'm pissed, but there's not much I can do now except deal with the aftermath. I've had enough of the damage, the broken promises. I can't keep fixing things for Maria. I call my dealer and order a new Range Rover, one for me, to replace the BMW. It's a relief, but it doesn't sit right. I can't shake the feeling that I'm just covering up all the cracks in the foundation. I need to fix this, and not just the cars. The next day, I sit Maria down. She's sitting at the kitchen counter, scrolling through her phone, her face blank, like she doesn't even see me. I clear my throat to get her attention. Maria, I start, the words coming out heavier than I intend. We need to talk about your car situation. She looks up at me, unfazed. What now? I'm buying myself a new car, I say. I'm getting rid of the Mercedes after it's repaired. It's too much of a hassle to keep around. She barely reacts. I keep going, trying to keep it casual, trying to keep her from shutting me out completely. You need to have your own car, Maria. I'm not going to keep lending you mine. I'm going to give you $5,000 for a down payment. You'll figure out the rest. Her eyes narrow, and she leans back, arms crossed. You think that's going to fix everything? I let out a deep breath. It's not about fixing things. It's about getting us on solid ground. I need to know you're serious. That you're taking responsibility. You can't keep relying on me for everything. Her expression softens for a second, and I think maybe she gets it. Maybe this is the moment where everything clicks. But instead, she lets out a quiet laugh. Right, okay, she says, not looking at me, because that'll totally solve everything. Buying me a car. I can't tell if she's pissed or just indifferent. The vibe is off. I've been around her long enough to know when she's pretending it's okay, and this isn't it. I don't want to keep doing this, Maria, I say, my voice tighter now. I don't want to keep fixing things for you. I'm not your parent. She stands up suddenly, pacing around the room. You act like I can't handle things. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to help you, I snap back. I want us to be on the same page, but we're not there. And I can't keep pretending that everything's fine when it's not. Maria stops pacing. She looks at me for the first time since I started talking. Maybe we're not on the same page because we don't want the same things. The words hang in the air between us. For a moment, everything goes silent, and it hits me, this is bigger than the car, bigger than the accidents. We've been drifting for a while, and I've been blind to it. I'm doing what I can, I say, quieter now, like I'm trying to explain myself, but I don't know if she's listening. Maria doesn't respond. She just shrugs, like she's already checked out. Fine, I say. I'll buy the Range Rover. I'll give you the money for the car. But you need to understand, this is about more than cars or money. This is about us figuring out how we're going to make it work. She says nothing. I know I'm holding on to something that's slipping through my fingers. I keep telling myself this is the right thing, but I'm not sure anymore. I should feel relieved, but instead, there's just more tension, more distance. By the time the Range Rover arrives, I've already made peace with it. It's mine now, but I'm starting to realize, none of this is going to make a damn difference. The new Range Rover sits in the driveway, shining like it's supposed to mean something. But it doesn't. It's just another reminder that things aren't right. Maria barely even acknowledges it when she walks in. I can tell something's off, but I'm not sure if I want to know what it is. The day starts like any other. I'm grabbing coffee in the kitchen when Maria steps in, her eyes scanning the room. She doesn't say anything right away. I know it's coming, but I don't know how. She leans against the counter, crossing her arms. So, she finally says, you got yourself a new toy. I stop, the coffee mug still in my hand. I try to keep it casual, but I can feel the tension thickening. It's a car, Maria. Nothing more. She raises an eyebrow, the sarcasm heavy in her voice. A $90,000 car is nothing more to you? I let the words slide off me, but it's hard to ignore the sharpness in her tone. I told you I needed a new one. The BMW was too far gone, and the Mercedes, it's just too much trouble. I thought you'd understand. Maria's face hardens. What I understand is that I'm not in the position to be getting myself a car like that. She points to the Range Rover, her voice rising. It's like you're flaunting it in front of me. I set the coffee mug down, my pulse quickening. It's not like that. I'm trying to make things work, trying to help us. I didn't ask for help, she cuts in, her voice cracking. I didn't ask you to buy me a car, Daniel. I didn't ask you to fix everything for me. And now I'm supposed to be grateful? For what, exactly? I step forward, frustrated, trying to explain. It's not about fixing you. It's about us, about trying to make things work. You've got to stop pretending that none of this matters. We need to start taking responsibility. She scoffs, turning away. Oh, I get it. You're trying to make me feel small, like I'm some kind of charity case. Well, guess what? I don't need your handouts. I stand there, dumbfounded. Her words hit hard. This isn't the conversation I thought we'd be having, not like this. I'm not trying to make you feel small, I say, my voice shaky now. I'm trying to make sure we're okay. I can't keep carrying everything for both of us. This car, it's meant to help, not control you. You don't get it, she says, her voice breaking. She's not looking at me anymore, her gaze fixed somewhere else. It's not the car. It's everything. You're treating me like I'm not enough. Like I can't handle things on my own. You're trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. I swallow hard, her words cutting deep. That's not true. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm trying to build something with you. But you keep pushing me away. She shakes her head. Maybe I don't want to be built anymore. Maybe I don't want to live in this fake world you're creating for us. I don't have a response to that. The words stick in my throat. The silence between us stretches, thick and suffocating. It feels like everything I've done, every attempt I've made, is being torn down in an instant. You know what? Maria says, breaking the silence. I can't do this. I can't keep pretending like this is okay. I'm not okay with this, Daniel. I'm just not. Her voice wavers, and I can see the tears threatening to spill, but they don't come. Instead, she turns and heads toward the door, not looking back. Where are you going? I call out, though I already know the answer. I'm going to my mom's, she says over her shoulder. I need space. I need to figure things out. The door slams behind her, and I stand frozen in place, the weight of the situation sinking in. It's over. It feels like the air's been sucked out of the room. I don't know what happens next. I'm not sure I want to. But the tension between us is too thick to ignore now. This isn't just about the cars anymore. It's about everything that's wrong in our relationship. And I don't know how to fix it. It's been 2 months since Maria left. 2 months since she moved back to her mom's place, and nothing feels the same. I'm not sure what I expected, but I'm learning to breathe again. It's quieter now. No more arguments, no more tension hanging in the air like a storm cloud. But the silence feels heavier than I thought it would. Maria broke up with me over the phone. I can't do this anymore, Daniel, she said, her voice distant, like she was talking to a stranger. You're acting like a parent, not a partner. You've been trying to fix me, and I don't need fixing. It stung. Still stings. But as much as I hate to admit it, maybe she's right. Maybe I've been treating her like a project, not a person. I was trying to solve the problems instead of listening to what she actually needed, what we needed. And now she's gone. I'd like to say I'm angry. I'd like to say I'm furious over the way she handled things. But I'm not. There's a hollow emptiness where anger used to be. Just resignation. I didn't fight for her the way I should have. Instead, I gave her a car, I gave her space, I gave her everything except what she really wanted. I don't hear from Maria after the breakup. I check my phone in the morning, expecting a message or a call, but nothing comes. It's like she's completely moved on, and I'm still stuck, replaying the last argument over and over in my mind. The $5,000 I gave her for a down payment? She used it for a vacation. She went to some island somewhere, posted photos of herself in a bikini, smiling like nothing ever happened. It should have pissed me off, but instead, I felt a strange sense of relief. She was moving forward. I was still here, dealing with the fallout. I throw myself into work. My consulting business is growing, and the more I pour into it, the less I have to think about Maria. But there's something missing. Something I didn't realize was gone until it was. My friends keep calling, asking if I'm okay, but I don't know what to say. I'm fine doesn't even feel real anymore. I'm trying to figure out how to be okay without her, without any of the weight she left behind. I can't move on without knowing what went wrong. But I guess that's part of it, right? The not knowing. The uncertainty. That's the shit that stays with you. I start seeing a therapist. It wasn't my idea. My best friend, James, called me up after a week of me spiraling into work, skipping meals, and avoiding any sort of social interaction. "You're not okay," he said, and I hated him for it. But he was right. And so, I made the call. The therapy isn't a quick fix. It's not a magic cure. But over time, I start to see patterns in myself, in the way I've always tried to control situations instead of letting them unfold. I was so afraid of things falling apart that I ended up forcing them into boxes they didn't fit. And that's not how relationships work. A month after the breakup, I'm still figuring things out. I'm still working on myself, trying to get comfortable with the fact that I'm alone. But I'm better than I was, and maybe that's enough for now. I move in with my friend, Mark. His place is small, but it's a change of pace, and I need it. The first night, I stand in the kitchen, opening a beer, and it hits me, this is it. I'm starting over. There's no more Maria, no more pretending. It's just me, trying to figure out what comes next. I'm not sure what the future holds. But right now, that's okay. For the first time in months, I don't need to have all the answers. I just need to keep going.